viewers. At this time, this is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. The headlines. Edo poll, People's Democratic Party alleges rigging as All Progressive Congress of Pekolo wins. Kidnapped Zamfara Varsity students, youth staff released after 7 months. And marketers optimistic of lifting Dangote petrol directly as scarcity persists. Details coming up shortly. Welcome back. I am Mitre Samina on the news. The People's Democratic Party kicked against the results of Saturday's governorship election in Edo State, which ushered in the All Progressive Congress candidate, Senator Monday Okpeholo, as the new governor of the state. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, who is the chairman Edo State Governorship Election National Campaign Council on Sunday, stated that the Independent National Electoral Commission should be held accountable for violating the Electoral Act. Okpeholo polled 291,667 votes to defeat PDP's Asue Ikodalo, who came second with 247,274 votes, and the Labour Party's Olumide Akpata, who emerged third with 22,763 votes. Of the 18 local government areas in the state, the APC won 10, while the PDP settled for 8. But the PDP, in solidarity with its governors' forum, insisted Igodalo clearly won the election. In a statement on Sunday, PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olagun Agba, responded by explaining that Fintiri presented the results from the polling units showing Igodalo in a clear lead. The PDP Governors Forum, led by Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, said the Independent National Electoral Commission must live up to the expectations of the people as an impartial umpire. The PDP governors urged INEC to announce results that accurately reflected the wishes of the Edo people as expressed through their vote on Saturday. And in another news, staff and students, members of staff and students of Federal University Gusau in Zamfara State who were kidnapped by bandits have regained their freedom after 7 months in captivity. The victims were reportedly kidnapped during an attack in the Gusau area in February of this year. Security analyst and counter-insurgency expert Zagazola Makama confirmed the release in a report by X on Monday. While the exact circumstances surrounding their release remain unclear, Zagazola's sources indicated that security forces played a pivotal role in securing the victims' freedom. The news brings relief to families and the academic community who have been waiting for the safe return of their loved ones. In September 2023, bandits reportedly kidnapped a significant number of students of the Federal University Gusau Zamfara State. An indigene of Sabon Gida village, ABUBAKAR Sani, revealed that the bandits, who were in large numbers, stormed the students of campus residencies in the village. He said the students abducted were mostly females. Sani said the bandits invaded the area at around 4 a.m. where they attacked 3 student hostels. And now to oil matters, where marketers have expressed optimism that they would be able to lift premium motor spirits, also known as petrol, directly from Dangote refinery as scarcity of the product persists across the country. Checks around Abuja yesterday showed most retail outlets were still without the product 3 months after the current shortages began. Speaking to reporters, the Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, of Nigeria, Chief Chinedu Okadike, explained that the marketers were optimistic about reaching an agreement that would allow them to supply directly from the $20 billion refinery. Chief Okadike disclosed that a meeting has been scheduled this week between the independent marketers and officials of the refinery. He also noted the pricing remains a big issue in the distribution of petrol, stressing that independent marketers have to list the products at a price that would allow them to be competitive. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, Edo decides 2024. I am starting from where Oshimole stopped, says Okpeholo. Details of this and more after the break. Welcome back. Now, the governor-elect of Edo State, Monday Okpeholo, has promised to bring the South-South state to an enviable height when he assumes office. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Sunday declared Okpeholo the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress as the winner of the keenly contested election. He polled 291,667 votes to defeat Asue Igodalo of the People's Democratic Party, who secured 247,274, and Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party, who came a distant third with 22,761 votes. Addressing reporters on Sunday evening after he was declared winner of last Saturday's governorship election, Okpeholo appreciated the people of the state for choosing the right person to govern them for the next 4 years. He also vowed to continue from where the former governor Adams Oshimole stopped and would replicate what Senate President Godswill Akpabio did in Akwa Ibom State. And now Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and one of its largest economies, has now spent over 13 months without ambassadors in 109 diplomatic missions worldwide. The diplomatic vacuum has raised serious concerns about the country's standing in the global arena and its capacity to navigate the increasingly complex international relations. For more than a year, Nigeria has lacked formal representation at the highest level of diplomacy, leaving the country at a disadvantage in engaging with global partners. Following Tinubu's inauguration, a reassessment of foreign policy led to the recall of 83 ambassadors, both career and non-career, from their posts in September 2023. But the subsequent appointment of replacements has yet to occur. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tukar, has said the ambassadors served at the President's behest in their host nations and that it was the President's prerogative to send or recall them from any country. The envoys were instructed to return to Nigeria by October 31st, marking a shift in diplomatic strategy and suggesting that the government was looking to realign its foreign engagement to better serve national interests. However, more than a year later, the anticipated appointment of new ambassadors have yet to materialize, creating a diplomatic vacuum that has left the country's missions leaderless and its voice on the global stage weakened. And now, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has constituted a committee to oversee the disbursement of relief funds and items for victims of the recent flood disaster that affected the state. The governor, in a statement by the secretary to the state government, Bukar Tijani, on Sunday, said the committee includes representatives from the various organizations, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, and the Department of State Services to ensure transparency. The committee members include the Special Advisor on Monitoring Evaluation as the chairman, Baba Gujubau, a professor from the University of Maiduguri, Ibrahim Umara, as the co-chairman, among others. Among other donors, the International Organization for Migration is utilizing $3 million in the United States Agency for International Development Funds to support flood recovery efforts across the country. This was as the United States stepped up to provide critical humanitarian aid to thousands of victims affected by the devastating floods in Maiduguri and other parts of the state. No fewer than 400,000 people have been displaced and several others killed by the devastating flood in the state. So you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Hardship in Nigeria is getting out of control, says ABDULSALAMI ABUBAKAR, former head of state. Join us shortly as we analyze this with our guests. Welcome back. And now the former head of state, General ABDULSALAMI ABUBAKAR, has said the hardship in Nigeria is getting out of control and that the distribution of palliatives is not the way out, but a sustainable action to end the people's suffering. The former Nigerian leader spoke at his residence in the Uphill Mina, where he received the leadership of the Campaign for Democracy and Human Rights led by Comrade Abdullahi Muhammad Jabi. General ABDULSALAMI said hardship in the land is getting out of hand. Everybody is crying about this hardship and it seems to get out of control. People cannot afford 3 square meals, the issue of transportation, the hike in fuel, the hike in school fees for the children, and the lack of funds for everybody's pockets make life difficult for everybody. While saying that there is need for government to flood and saturate the communities with food, let them buy food and sell at lesser prices to the people so that people could try to buy some of these food items depending on their pockets. He reiterated that palliative is not sustainable. He said their forum had made recommendations to the federal government on the way out of the economic hardship in the land. Speaking also on the end bad governance protests slated for the 1st of October, the former head of state said, for God's sake, when you demonstrate, you do it peacefully. Earlier, the leader of the delegation, Comrade Abdullahi Jabi, said they were in his residence to rejoice with him on the celebration of his last birthday and prayed for a long life and good health for him. Jabi solicited the former Nigerian leader's support for implementing some of his programs, especially in mobilizing Nigerians for active participation in governance.
Wale Joshua will be joining us to analyze this statement by the former head of state. Good afternoon to you, Sir Wale Joshua.
You're welcome. Good morning.
So, what do you have to say about this statement by the former head of state?
Well, the statement by the former head of state is not coming as a surprise, and it's just the assessment of what is obtainable in the present day economy of Nigeria. Apart from what is obtainable in the present day economy of Nigeria, it has been pre-assessed, because there was a time around 2022 when the subsidy was about to be removed outrightly. This same man, General ABDULSALAMI ABUBAKAR, came out, told the then President Muhammadu Buhari, that this policy of yours will lead to hardship in the land, and leading to hardship in the land means that people will resent, and APC may not get into power around that time. So before the policy of changes in the color of currency, that was about to take effect then. So looking at the political implication of removing subsidy then, it was reversed and postponed. Instead of it to come as a policy, it came as a law through the Petroleum Industry Act. Then General Absalam has looked at the effect of removal of subsidy then, and was able to tell us that this is what will happen. So it's the manifestation of what General Absalam saw then that is playing out now. Not even to the magnitude of what he saw then, but a plus to it, because we are having double punch on the face of Nigerian economy. One is the removal of subsidy, the other one is the floating of the exchange rates. So having these two, it points to the fact that on one hand we are driving the economy, the onshore economy, and then being a import reliant economy, Nigeria is using floating of exchange rates to guard the import economy of Nigeria. So we're having two jeopardy at the same time, which is only speaking to the fact that we are moving towards capitalist economy. And when we are moving towards capitalist economy, it brings high profiteering on the part of the business owners. It brings inflation on the part of the economy. So it's a hard one on the economy itself. So take for instance, we have a lot of things, a lot of parameters that are out of place. One of which is the currency. If you are to withdraw anything from the ATM, you withdraw 20,000 naira. As of today, 20,000 naira cannot do anything. Before you know it, you have finished 20,000 naira on what you may not be able to carry with a polythene bag. So the hardship is there and is palpable on all flanks of the economy. Even the government itself is feeling it. But like I always tell people, what this economy is pointing to is increase your income, increase revenue, increase turnover, increase sales. So that's the only thing the economy is pointing to. And if you look at any capitalist economy, what they aim at is industrialization, mass production, mass selling, and even mass productivity. So if you are looking at that, what the regime should have done is to carry people along initially, so that as the expenses are increasing, the income are increasing on its own. But currently, many people has their income stagnated and their expenses increased. So if we have this type of economy, there will be a gap, because we have a super rich economy and super poor economy. We have some few individuals who are richer than majority who are poorer in the country. So the current situation is that majority of people are not finding it funny at all, because their income cannot drive home whatever their expenses are. People will compare the PMS price in Nigeria with PMS price in other countries, not knowing the income level of other countries like UK, US, Canada, Germany has improved more than this. They can afford it. The affordability and the purchasing power is what we are talking about. It has greatly reduced due to inflation.
Alright, so according to the former head of state, he said let the government buy food and allow the people to buy at cheaper prices. Do you think this will solve the present hunger situation in the country?
Definitely to solve it. If government can subsidize food, that will trigger productivity, agricultural productivity. That will trigger government involvement in agricultural process value chain, and that will bring the price to a controllable rate. it is not fair on government to just to leave price at a free fall level. If government is leaving price to free fall, every other person will benefit, will profiteer from the free fall of prices. I mean increase in prices. So if everybody benefits from increase in prices, the masses will be left to suffer it. Growing up, we have some agencies, we have some government businesses that are not left into the hands of the private sectors just because they want to protect their citizens. Part of which is NEPA, NITEL, and Water Corporation. They were not left in the hands of private individuals. Yes, they are controlled by the public sector. It has a reason, so that to protect the citizens. Currently, the citizens are left to provide many other things on their own and for themselves. If this is left to go ahead, that means we are losing the flank of our social economics. Our social economics with any other nation, with any nation, is very, very important. That is why subnations will make sure that their health sector is subsidized. Their insurance, they go under insurance to cover their health sector. That is why some other countries will make sure that they mass produce agriculturally. That is why some other countries will make sure that they subsidize some rates. Some countries will export at lower price so as to sustain their country. So it's not left. It is not of the government. It is not for government of the day to allow the free fall of the pricing system so as to make people profiteer from that. If you are going to leave that, if you are going to leave it to that, we have few people making huge profits and becoming super rich, while majority of the Nigerian system will be left in poverty line. That is not a
So
problem.
do you
If
think
government
the
can show that the
government, do you
social
think the government will heed to this recommendation? Because he also stated that they are recommending ways to governments to solve the economic hardship. Do you think the present administration will heed to their recommendations?
going from the personality of General ABDULSALAM and going from the fact that General ABDULSALAM might just be the spokesperson for many other personalities under this suggestion, I believe that government will look at it. President Muhammadu Buhari considered this advice when he was in power. So except if President Tinubu feels that where he is leading Nigeria to is so sure that is heaven on earth, that is when he may not look at this policy. But if the masses are speaking against a policy, if the masses are telling you that we are heading for a point of no return, and the elites are equally telling you that we are heading to a point of no return, the same thing, the best of it is to consider the facts behind all the information before you take steps. Because if you don't do that, the government becomes more unpopular. You are not accepted by the elites, you are not accepted by the masses, and you are still coming for 2027, or your party is still coming for 2027. It will be difficult to weather the storm of that electioneering years, because Nigeria may not forget.
Quickly, he also appealed to Nigerians to maintain peace during the upcoming 1st October End Bad Governance protest. Do you think this will be the coming protest will be peaceful, it will be a peaceful demonstration, or we should expect it was as usual?
Well, protests in this current world is not always peaceful. If you look at the United Kingdom's protests, it was not peaceful. If you look at the Kenyan protests, it was not peaceful. So coming to Nigeria, I doubt if you can introduce variables that can make it peaceful. Even at the face of guns, I believe that Nigerians can still spin surprises, because the security agencies cannot cover the whole length of Nigeria at once. So it's still subjected to crisis, and government has, in its own wisdom, try to pick up the eggheads of the protests and try all legal means to make sure that they are behind the bars first. But that may not solve the problem, because we have a lot of citizens in Nigeria that can protest. 200 citizens in Nigeria, and we have few police to monitor them. If that is the case, it's pertinent to appeal for peace in the line of what is obtainable. If they can get the peace, at least it will protect the national assets, and it will protect the private citizens' assets, because most of what happened during the bad governance protests at the last time affected the private citizens' business more than the government businesses, because the security agencies were deployed to protect most of the critical national assets, but left the private national assets into the hands of the protesters, and it was not a palatable one. So it's a question of masses turning against masses, and that's not good for us. At this particular point, we are having the poor are having feelings that any rich person must have gotten rich because he has gotten an influence in the government circle. If that is allowed to continue, most private properties will be seen as like they are government properties, and if they can get into private properties,